Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here. Your host, Drew Billy, Nate Stice, and Trevor. How are we doing, fellas?
Doing well, Drew. Good to be back.
Good to be back, yes. Trevor, beautiful.
Likewise, Drew. Oh, yeah. I got it right this week. I'm doing good. Doing very good. Steelers have won. The Penguins have lost. It's a good day in Pittsburgh for this guy. I'll just say that.
Right. No, but a lot of things happen over the NFL weekend here. We're going to do something different. I let the people know in the promo video. We're going to do a little trivia between you two. Not saying I wouldn't know them either, but you guys are far more advanced than me. So, but just want to touch on one thing, and I know I'm going to piss off a lot of fan bases out there. Already pissed them off, actually, through text message. The Buffalo Bills laying an egg against the Jaguars. What are our thoughts from that game, fellas?
I'm not surprised. I think I said it when we were going through our picks. The Jaguars were over in London, and I think this was an easy trap game after they beat the snot out of the Dolphins. You know, it's nothing against the Bills, but everybody was crowning the Bills from that offense rolling. And, it's the Jaguars home away from home. And all it took was, the Jaguars defense being a little bit stout. And, I'm not too surprised. I'm really not. The AFC is very competitive. A lot of teams can beat other teams this year. So not too surprised. Do I think the Jaguars are better? No, but they can contend with them, no question. I wouldn't pick the Jaguars over the Bills on paper, but no, it just felt like a game that was an easy trap one. And the better team won that day.
Yes, kind of to echo Nate's points there, jet lag is real, and jet lag was real for the Buffalo Bills as their offense was apparently left in the States. Jaguars beat up on them pretty good as they had the quote-unquote home field advantage, it being their second week in a row in London. And I tell you guys, I might not pick against the Jags in London anymore. They're 2-0 this year.
Nope.
Doing good. They're doing good. They're doing real good. And I'm still picking them, obviously, to win that division in the AFC South. They're still very, very good. And obviously the Bills, I still think it's their division to lose in the AFC East. I think that game was a bit of an anomaly for Josh Allen and the boys on offense. And then the defense, that's another one of those cases. I say it over and over again on this program. Offense making the defense look not as good as they really are. So Bills will bounce back. And they'll be right there in the AFC, probably in the AFC Championship, if not in the Super Bowl, once again this year.
Right. Yeah. One other thing about the Bills, made a nice big acquisition the last couple of days. Brought Josh Norman back for that secondary. So we'll see how he fits in with this already very solid defense. Josh Norman's not what he used to be. I think it's no secret. But this is a seasoned veteran who can make some plays. He's going to give them some depth. Going to play in there a little bit. I imagine. Will fill in and help complete that secondary, which is an acquisition that they really needed. He didn't have to spend anything to go get him. You just pay him straight up. Didn't have to trade for anybody. He's a guy that's familiar with this system, familiar with this organization, this program, and he's a kind of a plug and chug guy. So I think that was a good move by the Bills to kind of just get a little bit of depth and some leadership. And honestly, you got to bring some swag, and no question, Josh Norman brings some swag. He's going to bring the juice, whether you like it or not. It's not always the most pleasant of swag. I think there's been times he's been burnt with it, but no, I think that was a good acquisition for that team. So interested to see how he goes and does going forward.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Trevor. I missed the end of, I was only able to see the end of the game. I didn't get to see the full thing. But just looking at the highlights, they shot themselves in the foot a lot of that game. They couldn't get off the field, dumb penalties, but then the Jaguars had dumb penalties. I mean, at times I think officiating takes over the fucking game, and I think that happened a little bit in this game. And it's, the other thing I saw, players said it felt like he was falling on cement. Is he just sore after a loss, guys, or do you think it's actually that bad over there? I mean, I haven't heard anybody else say the conditions, but
yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have a little bit of insight.
I know.
On this.
Oh yeah, go ahead there, Nate.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Trevor. It's an unusual playing surface it's a soccer stadium that transforms into a football field. And I believe how it works is like they just kind of like pull the grass out to the side, and then they like pull in different grass, and like, it feels different. I don't know the super specifics of it, but it's unlike any other football field in the States. I know that they can change that stuff a little bit, but this kind of like they like can separate the field, I believe, and like kind of like sinks below the ground, and then they can like actually like touch the grass and like grow the grass and get a perfect sunlight, water, and temperatures and all that stuff. So yeah, like I don't know what it feels like, but I imagine it's slightly different, because this is not the traditional turf that's in the NFL, the traditional grass stadium that's in the NFL, and then some of those hybrid turf grass or turf grass fields that I think 2 or 3 teams have. But yeah, I mean, sometimes people are just bitter about losses. I don't know how much that impacted it, but I don't think any hits in the NFL feel very good, no matter what you hit. So that's maybe just being a little bit of a sore loser, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, and the other thing too, very high on him. Anthony Richardson goes down. Very interesting though, his injury, AC joint again, sprain. It's just funny that this poor kid, gets concussion, now he gets a sprain in the AC joint. What the hell are they going to do? I mean, quarterbacks, it seems they go to Indianapolis to die. They draft one. I hope he's able to get through this. I mean, holy shit. I mean, what do you boys think here?
Trevor, you have some insight?
My internet's being a little laggy. Sorry, boys. So go ahead there, Nate. See if I can figure out what's going on here.
That's all right.
Yeah, no problem. I just felt like I was always going first. I wanted to allow you to have an opportunity to speak. But it's unfortunate. I'll tell you what.
No, that's fine. Hopefully I get caught up here.
Yeah, when Anthony Richardson's been out there, it's been pretty good. Running all over the place. A couple turnovers here and there, but most rookies are not doing what Dak Prescott did in his rookie year and what CJ Stroud is doing now. They're not always taking care of the football that way. It's pretty rare. But this kid's a physical specimen. Everybody knew that. He's off the charts. He's helping him win when he's out there. Unfortunately, he just hasn't been out there too much. But one fortunately of it is you have one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league in Gardner Minshew, who I personally believe could be a starter in this league. I think he's right on the cusp. Him and Andy Dalton are guys that are right on the cusp of starting and being a backup. They're about as close as you can possibly be. And sometimes they're kind of in that veteran position where these teams draft rookies and they're going to play the rookie first, or they're going to play somebody first because of some political reason in the organization. And that's kind of why those guys don't always get a shot. It happened to Josh Dobbs for a while, and now Josh Dobbs is getting a chance. And I'm happy for Josh Dobbs and happy for Gardner Minshew. He's getting a chance, although it's because of Anthony Richardson's misfortune. But the Colts are doing okay. They're hanging around. That division, warrants just kind of hanging around. If you hang around in that division, you might have a chance to win it. Might have a chance to sneak into a wild card, because if you can win in that division, you can win 4 or 5 games. You're doing okay. But unfortunate for Anthony Richardson. He has proven me wrong so far. Just got to stay out there, though. Been a tough go with Colts quarterbacks here since Andrew Luck retired. I hope that they can find somebody and they don't have this Andrew Luck curse kind of going over their heads for a while. So,
Trevor, what do you think on this?
Jeez. Hopefully I don't cut out here.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
No, you're good, buddy.
Yeah. I'm good now. All right. It's awesome. I don't know why I was being laggy there for a little bit. Y'all were cutting in and out, and I got the spinning wheels of death on my screen there for a second. But as long as we're good now. But Indianapolis Colts, they're 3-2, tied with the Jags for the division lead. Obviously, the Jags have the tiebreaker, but as long as you can hang around. And Gardner Minshew's that type of quarterback. He's just steady. He's going to keep you in games. He's rarely going to lose you the game. He's a really good game manager. And honestly, he's pretty good for the PR of the Colts, which hasn't been the greatest as of late. And of course, Jonathan Taylor being back in the fold, that helps things. And if Zach Moss goes off the way he does and is a compliment to Jonathan Taylor, or maybe I don't want to say usurps him, but he definitely did in fantasy this past week. I'll just give him that. I know because I benched his ass thinking what everyone else thought. But yeah, Colts are right there. But we'll see as the season goes on. We'll see if they can keep this pace. We'll see if the defense can keep up, see if the O-line can keep up, see if they can, protect Minshew, protect Taylor, and protect Richardson when he gets back. But, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough to win that division right now. Because, you still got the Titans there. They might want to stay competitive, even though they have a couple of trade targets that I'm going to touch on later. Texans with C.J. Stroud, they've been a pleasant surprise on offense. Well, at least they were against the Steelers. I know that much. And then, of course, the Jaguars went in 2 in London. But let's see if the Jags can actually win on U.S. soil.
Right. Yeah. No, good points from both. Yeah, Jaguars there, and the Colts. But one thing here, and this is, I don't want to tie in to say this is a hot take, but I got to touch on it. After watching the New England Patriots, probably one of the worst performances in Bill Belichick's coaching career. Do you think they come to an agreement, him and Kraft, a mutual agreement after he beats? Because he's on the heels of Don Shula's record. Do you think if this just keeps going to shit, they just come to a mutual agreement that they part ways? Or are they drafting a quarterback next year? What the hell does this team need? You guys are the inside. You guys know what I don't know what the hell they need.
Yeah, the worst 2 consecutive games in the Belichick's coaching career. The worst 2 losses come in a row. I didn't have that on my bingo card, and I've been defending them for the last 3 weeks. And unfortunately, I can't defend him anymore. Although I'll tell you what, I think he's got a good chance this week against the Raiders because he just owns Josh McDaniels, and that's pretty much his boy wonder. So I'm going to say they have a chance in that game. The Raiders' offense isn't spectacular. Their defense played above what I believe their expectations were this Monday against the Packers. But no, DB, you've been hitting on it, and Trevor, DB have been pretty consistent. You're like, you guys are out on the Patriots, and I kept saying, no, it's Belichick will get this right. Mac Jones will get this right. No, this is beyond repair. Now, they just lost their rookie sensation DB, Gonzalez for the year, and Juju's hurt, and Mike Gesicki's not working out, and you bring in Juju for the same amount of money that Jacoby Myers goes to the Raiders. It's an equal contract, and Jacoby Myers has more touchdowns than Devontae Adams, I believe, this year for the Raiders. So it's like, holy smokes, this is not turning out well. Yeah, so I've listened to some people that have had some opinions on this, and so I'm not going to say this is my take. I think this is some of these insiders' takes. They think that Bill Belichick needs to hand over the keys to the general management position because he has not gotten it right since Tom left.
That's a good. Okay.
He's had Cam Newton, and that didn't work, and then he had Mac Jones waiting in the wins, and that didn't work, and then you've had Bailey Zappi, who has had chances but not come through, and they don't think they can fully trust him, and they let Jarrett Stidham walk when he might have been the best option of any of them. And you let Jimmy Garoppolo go a few years ago, and he may have been the best option yet. You don't know. He was quick to push Tom out the door, but when you have a legend on your team, you can't be quick to push him out the door. We're going through that too with Ben Roethlisberger to Kenny Pickett transition. It's a difficult time for the Patriots and the Steelers. This is two programs, organizations that have dominated for the last 20 to 25 years consistently. The epitome of greatness has been the Steelers and the Patriots, 7 Super Bowls in the last 20-ish years. I don't know the exact number of years. So they've done things pretty well. And the Patriots have been to more, and the Steelers were one more than they won too. So they've been in more than half the Super Bowls, or about half the Super Bowls, the last 20 to 25 years. So yeah, to kind of wrap it up here, this is just a dumpster fire right now. Bill Belichick, who cares about the record? These people need to do what's best for their organization. It's a business first. I hope Kraft has a conversation with him and says, hey, you can continue to coach, but we got to get someone in here who knows logistics, who knows, isn't picking these people. They have a more advanced scouting because he might be slightly out of touch. It's appearing so. This team is what I thought was better on paper, and I thought that Bill O'Brien would save it, but it's worse than I thought. So,
what do you think, Trev?
Yeah, nothing there that I can't really that I can't disagree with, or that I can disagree with rather. But just to kind of echo those points, another reason the Patriots really struggling so much, they're a very old school team. Belichick, old school coach, run the ball, play defense. And they really weren't able to do either against the New Orleans Saints this past week. Zeke Elliott and Stevenson ran for a combined 45 yards, and obviously Mac Jones only had 110 yards passing, 2 picks. When the Patriots can't run the ball, or when a Mac Jones / Bill O'Brien offense can't run the ball, this is the result. And this has been the result for the past 2 weeks. They've only scored 3 offensive points. I mean, it's making me as a Steeler fan under Matt Canada feel valued. Feel very, very lucky with Matt Canada. We're scoring 17, 20, somewhere in that neighborhood a game. Obviously, I pulled out the Canadian flag, second straight week without 20. But, at least, we're not getting shut out at home and not only scoring one single field goal. The Patriots are just getting absolutely smoked. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. This is a franchise that has tortured me as a Steelers fan for the past 20 years plus.
Yep.
So the fact that I see Patriots fans suffering right now brings a smile to my face a little bit.
Yeah. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo is the word. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Yes, exactly. But yeah, in terms of Mac Jones, it's every week I see myself, and bear in mind too, I was high on him coming into the season. Nate, you too. We thought he was going to come in and have a solid season. Maybe not, offensively stellar, maybe not a 4,000-yard passer, but we thought he would be steady. We thought he would take care of the ball. We thought he would utilize his weapons. Stevenson, Gesicki, what's the other tight end's name? Hunter Henry, and Stevenson, and all those guys. But that just hasn't happened. And Mac Jones just makes me say the line from SpongeBob that I love to repeat every so often. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Yeah, he stinks.
No. And hopefully they're able to turn it around. But, yeah, I mean, there's some things that need to be changed. Let's see here. What else do we got here for us, the beautiful people out there? One thing I'm high on right now, Detroit Lions. Trevor, I'm believing what you were dishing out earlier this season, and actually preseason. You were high on the Lions, and Jared Goff's plays turned around too. So the hottest team right now, fellas. Lions need to be watched out for, or what are we thinking?
They're not the hottest team. The hottest team in the NFL right now is one that just beat the Dallas Cowboys 42-10 on Sunday night.
Yeah,
that's the hottest team in football.
Right.
I will say, though, I am giving myself a little pat on the back for this whole Lions situation, as well as getting Sam Laporta in a lot of my best ball leagues. He had 2 touchdowns this past week. The guy is a dog, and I love it. Iowa, just a tight end factory there. Tight end offensive line factory. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts, but. Yeah, Detroit, one of the more surprisingly well-balanced teams. I know a lot of the people out there, and maybe you two guys weren't too high on their defense, but right now they have the 9th-ranked defense in the NFL, even with C.J. Gardner-Johnson out. He's been out for these past few weeks. Lions are looking good, and with their hard-nosed style, with Dan Campbell at the helm, Lions are going to be good. Like I said, my hot take a few weeks ago, Lions are going to win a playoff game. I think that's going to happen. I think they get the right matchup. I think they win that division. I think they win a playoff game and then probably get beat by the Niners or the Eagles in the next round. But I think Detroit fans will take a playoff win at this point. Not one since, 1991?
Yes, sir.
Ho hoy. 7 years before I was even a thought.
Right.
Yeah, good points, Trevor. Can't disagree with you. I know you've been hot on Laporta, and I admitted it to you the other day. I said to you, man, you were right on with Laporta. I saw some good things about him coming in. I was like, well, I don't know. Like they have a lot of weapons on that team. He's a rookie. Like you don't know what's going to happen, but you nailed it. He's off to a great start, filling in from what they like. They traded Hawkinson in their own division last year. That's pretty.
yeah.
And now he's the highest paid tight end in NFL history, and he's having a good time, by the way. But no, Laporte is a little cheaper, and they can spread out, and they could reallocate that money to the defense and the offensive line, and they re-signed Jared Goff, so it's looks like a great move for them too. They look like a really, really nice team in the NFC, but no, I'll tell you what, right now the 49ers are just on a different level than everybody else. Like it's the 49ers and everybody else right now, at this moment in time. And it's not always the way. Like the Eagles are very good. The Cowboys, I still think are very good, although they just didn't play well. I think that they just had a really bad game, and the 49ers just ran it up on them. Dallas has these games. I don't know what it is. They just get blown out. They just get blown out of nowhere, and then they'll blow somebody out of nowhere, and then they'll lose these weird games like to Arizona, like they shouldn't lose. They're so up and down, but when they're hot, but when they're down, they're really down.
And if I can interject here for a second, Nate, and when they're down, guys get hurt like Leighton Vander Esch, and they turn the ball over, and Dak keeps throwing interceptions left and right.
Yep.
If that keeps happening, I would be out on the Cowboys. I'm not yet.
Yep.
I know I picked the Cowboys to win last week. Trust me, I'm shooting my own self in the foot for that one. That one was one of the worst picks that I've made in recent memory. But it's fine. I lost a few bucks on it. I'll live with it and I'll move on. But yeah, if Dallas, if they can take care of the ball, if they can run the ball, if they can utilize Pollard correctly, and if Dak just takes care of the ball, that defense is good enough to win any game against anybody.
Right.
It's just they've faltered these past several seasons at the wrong time.
Right.
And, the likes of Stephen A. and pretty much every other football fan that's not a Dallas Cowboys fan has been chomping at the bit for that to happen. Just waiting for us to say, just checking to see if y'all still dem boys. And they're usually not.
Right. Yeah. Another thing to add about the Cowboys, they're not even playing their best football offensively right now.
No.
CeeDee Lamb, his output's very low, which is concerning. Brandon Cooks has not been close to what they needed him to be and want him to be. They got to get him involved. I think he was like the first receiver in NFL history to have like 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons with 3 different teams. Like this dude's a really great player. He was lighting up with the Texans when they were terrible with Davis Mills. I mean, gosh, that's
right.
Now on paper, Dak's an upgrade. And sure, I understand there's more mouths to feed. You got Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, and you got a nice tight end in Ferguson. But still, like you think that Brandon Cooks should be more in the mix. So yeah, no, they're not even clicking on all cylinders. I know they've become more of a team that is running the football. They have a nice backfield, obviously led by Pollard, but some other guys that are coming in, Deuce Vaughn and another back. I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but yeah, they have a nice 3-headed monster that does very well together. So yeah, they haven't hit their peak yet. Their defense may have. Unfortunately, they lose what I believe is their second best defensive player in Diggs, but they're you can't count them out. But yeah, back to the Lions. Very very good football team. Great division to run away with, and just gonna say that my worst to first Minnesota Vikings looking like a very good chance of that too, even with the Bears in that division.
Yeah. No, and
yeah, I agree. The other running back, to your point, Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. It was on the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Honestly, been a decent change of pace back for them so far. I think he'll develop into a pretty good talent. And Deuce Vaughn, obviously, we know the story with him, undersized, but kind of a Darren Sproles type. I think he could play for them. I think that's a good comp coming his way. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, Drew. You were saying something.
No, we got a question in the comments here. Do you
yeah.
guys think the NFL is overdoing it with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce ordeal?
Oh, God.
Yeah, they were better last week. Hopefully it's done, but it ain't quite done. But there will be some subtle hints. Unfortunately, I think the NFL Instagram account has talked about how the Chiefs are 2-0 since the Chiefs Kingdom has been Swifties, and it's like, all right, you guys, like, is this rigged? And I'll tell you what, the last 2 Chiefs games have looked nice and suspicious. So I don't know. I know Mr. Kelsey is profiting heavily off of having Ms. Swift in his life, but I also want to comment and say they don't think they're overdoing it. They think they're underdoing it. I think that anytime they can plug Taylor Swift, she's just dollar sign and relatability. So many people love her and follow her and respect her, so they're gonna go mainstream as much as they can. So yeah, that's a great question by Matt Avery. I definitely appreciate that. That's just my take on it. I'm sick of it personally, but yeah, I understand why the NFL is going to milk this out for sure.
Yeah.
I tell you, though, with every cloud, there is a silver lining, and there is with this one, because there's been a bunch of AI-generated Taylor Swift songs about Travis Kelce that she could potentially write and put on that new album. Like I said, they're over-milking it? Hell yeah. Would you over-milk it? Hell yeah. Would I over-milk it? Hell yeah. You bring Swifties to football? Are you kidding me? You know how nuts Swifties are, right?
Dangerous.
Yeah, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. It's like a pack of hyenas coming to be football fans. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. But since you brought up the topic there, Nate, these last couple Chiefs games, very suspicious.
Yeah.
What's going on here? I mean, I keep seeing memes of the NFL referees dressed up in Chiefs uniforms and all that stuff. Obviously, the suspicious pass interference calls, lack of holding calls, you name it, the Chiefs are getting all the breaks. I mean, I know they're the Chiefs, and that's normally going to happen. The Chiefs are good business. I get that. And NFL, obviously an entertainment business. Chiefs are good for the NFL entertainment business. But at what point do you start, making people suspicious again, making people doubt the integrity of the game? It's been sickening to watch these last couple of games. Vikings really had a good shot this past week, and honestly, I didn't think they would.
No. Right. What pisses me off is, and the reason I posted that too, the ref, in the uniform. So you go ahead and don't call the pass interference call. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. You don't want to do that.
That's uncatchable. Maybe sure, fine.
But the fact he takes his helmet off.
Yep.
I mean, we saw TJ get a beautiful sack, huge momentum, play. He gets dinged with it even at the end of the game, and that crucial call right there, Nate.
True. One quick element. Sorry to interrupt you here, but
you're good.
One quick element with that. There was a clip out there of the referee overtly saying to the guy, "Put your helmet on. Put your helmet on."
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. A normal referee, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to bring out the flag and bang, whip it, flag, 15 yards, automatic first out, whatever.
Right.
They did that with TJ even when the game was done. The game was decided. It was over. And they still flagged TJ. They didn't flag whoever that member of the Chiefs was. I think it was Watson, if I remember correctly.
Darius Sneed.
Oh, the Darius Sneed. Thank you very much.
I don't know. It's bullshit. They got away with it. Or they got the call against the Jets, and then this week, the guy he didn't even turn his fucking head around. That's what's driving me nuts. Like, can we classify what pass interference then is? Because that's a model play right there, Nate.
You don't have to turn your head around in the NFL, I don't believe, but no, you're right. Like he didn't. So like when you don't, you automatically are looking like, oh, this is an increased chance that he is touching him. Before the ball gets there, or held him before the ball gets there. Right. And he certainly mistimed it, and they got it wrong. And I believe that Tyreek Hill spoke out, maybe some others spoke out and said, hey, we should bring this pass interference back. And I agree. I said that on the show a few weeks ago. They should bring it back. I don't think it takes that long to figure it out. No. You literally watch a replay. You might watch a couple angles, and you go, okay, well, I think that was – pass interference. And here's the other thing. They have the replay booth assist already in some of these games.
Yes.
You have them do it in New York. Have them do it. So, That's how I
Yeah.
feel. I'm on the side of let's bring that back. I liked it personally.
Yeah,
I think
Nate,
it affects
honestly, Nate, I was very much against that. I was actually for them taking it away when they took it away. But now with these questionable calls that are coming out, and like you said, they have the referee up in the booth. They can just buzz them and say, "Hey, you got it wrong. Fix it."
Yep.
You know, the fact that they bring that in right after they take away the pass interference. I mean, I know it was only in place for one season, but just kind of a mismatch of intentions there. I mean, if you're really trying to police the game consistently, please.
Right. I think it affects the game as much as we spent 5 minutes over, the I formation dive over. Did he make it? I think it's still at the high. It should be held at that same degree. I mean, you're affecting the fucking outcome of a game, right? I mean,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'd like to interject about that one too, DB.
Yeah.
If you guys, I know you guys aren't big European soccer fans. I'm not a huge one, but I do follow it.
Yeah.
I do watch it. They have a thing called goal line technology, so they can see if a ball crossed the plane of the goal, no matter what angle it is, and it's literally almost instantaneous. They can go and look and see it. They also have something in which players wear like a vest underneath their jersey that tracks their location on the field to tell offsides, because offsides is so fast in soccer. You can tell where they are via these sensory vests that they have on. And instead of getting those incorrect, they're getting them more correct now because they have this technology. So what it goes back to is, to me, if you can track a soccer ball and you can track a person, why can't we track the ball? Why can't we track this with this goal line technology with these sensory vests or sensory helmets or whatever, so that we have this more instantaneous consecutive replays, and we can take more of that human element out of it.
Yes.
Do I love that they're taking the human element out of it? No, but I think it's needed. I think it speeds the game up, a more sure outcome. It certainly helps people who are in the betting world, and they would like to know, some of these outcomes and get it right, so they don't lose some money. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, are people from across the pond that many of us immigrated to the United States from way back when, if they're getting it right, it's time for the old US of A to start getting it right in the NFL.
Yes. Yeah, Nate, I don't know why I was pointing at myself there. I don't bet on European soccer, but I had a real quick question for you there, Nate. Remind me of the whole offsides rule with that, because I know it's a little weird and I'm not in favor of it really, but
yeah, well, pretty much it's cherry picking. Is the offensive player can't be behind the defense and them just pass them the ball and just stand down by the goal all day. So it eliminates boom ball. It eliminates kicking it up there, and the goalie have to babysitting an offensive player. It's just like hockey too. It's the same principle as hockey.
Well, yeah, hockey, you have a definitive line to where.
Yes. The definitive line is in hockey. The definitive line is the backmost part of of a defender on the defending team's goal. That's the line.
Got it.
The line's moving, but that's the line. So you can't see it there.
Yeah. It's a dynamic line. It's not a static one. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then one more thing, and then we'll switch over to trivia, and then Nate and Trevor will touch on what they got. Steelers, we got to touch on it. I know a lot of people last week were like, "Hey, I missed your blow up. I missed your blow up." So I said, "Okay, we'll wait till 34 minutes, and then we'll have it in there." So just some takeaways. Trevor, talked to you about it. Byron Leftwich wanted to be an offense coordinator. He's denied, basically, by the organization.
Yes.
Second thing is, which I watched the press conference today. I think people are making this last play reaction after listening to Matt Canada's press conference.
Yeah, I have a take on that.
Way bigger than it needs to be. He gives credit to Kenny. The only reason he said he didn't explain the reaction that he did not have, but I think the guy is so goddamn stressed out he can't even cheer. Like, oh shit, what's the next play? You know what I mean? So, but Kenny impressed me that game. Just the way Canada was talking about him, how he saw formation change to blocking. saw coverage, and then got the route set up for George there, and he fucking, like I told you, he's a stallion. But what do you boys think about all this turmoil going on?
Late game Kenny, man. Yeah, he just keeps showing up and keeps resurfacing, and he did against the Ratbirds, and I'm very happy about that. I wanted to touch on this real quick before we move on. A lot of people are calling out the fact that Kenny changed the play with he said Randy at the line of scrimmage. And I was informed and confirmed this later on. He was just adjusting the blocking scheme. He did not fully audible out of the play. And people are saying Kenny fully audibled out of the play, and Matt Canada was pissed that, was Kenny's play and not his. That narrative is false. Right. Completely and absolutely false. He just changed the protection to cover the zero blitz, which they did bring, and he left one-on-one against Pickens and Marlon Humphrey there, which George Pickens, we all know this, absolute dog, and not just a Georgia dog. He is a dog in Pittsburgh as well. I believe he had, 6 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown when, Kenny had like 230 yards total. George has about 130 of them right there. Can't say enough about the defense either.
Right. JPJ
with the interception on OBJ. Very exciting moment for him and all Penn State fans that are Steeler fans. TJ Watt, 2 tackles, fumble recovery, those 2 tackles being sacks, by the way.
Right.
Just absolutely insane. And it kind of touched on JPJ there. A lot of people are clamoring for him to become the full-time starter at corner, or at least maybe even take Levi Wallace's spot, if not Pat Pete's spot. Right. And there's some merit to that. He only has 79 snaps on defense so far this season, so take this with a grain of salt, but he has allowed a 0.0 passer rating. He's been targeted 8 times, completed 3 of those, opposing quarterbacks have, and then obviously he has the 1 interception there, allowing a 21.9 QB rating over that time. Now, QBR different from QB rating, the 158.3 to the 100 scale. On the 158.3 scale, he's letting up a 21.9. On the 100-point scale, 0. And he's just continuing what he did at Penn State, just being an absolute lockdown corner. There's a reason guys didn't throw to him when he was at Penn State. He would just lock everybody down. He would get them, break them off the line of scrimmage. One of the best man-to-man corners I've ever seen wear a Penn State uniform, and hopefully one of the best man-to-man corners that I see wear a Steelers uniform. Now, does he deserve to be the starter yet? Maybe.
Right.
We know how shaky Levi Wallace has been. I think JPJ is going to get a lot more snap share coming up here, especially if the whole 0.0 QB rating continues itself.
Right.
But yeah, and then like I said, TJ Watt, 2 sacks, had a fumble recovery, 2 passes deflected. Steelers defense just on lockdown mode against Lamar Jackson again. And for whatever reason, the Steelers, they figured out Lamar Jackson. They figured out how to stop that. Drew, you love the run pass option. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Banned.
I don't disagree. But yeah, if that's banned, Lamar Jackson does not have a career in the NFL. No. So, that's just kind of the way it is.
Right.
But, I'm impressed with the Steelers. They were able to find a way to get a win headed into the bye week, get up to 3-2, and they're actually winning the division as we speak. If I would have told you 2 weeks ago, or even after the San Francisco game, we'd be leading the division head into the bye week, I'd have told you are a fucking Nimrod. But guess what? The Nimrods were right because we're leading the division.
I love it.
Yeah. Leading the division, scoring 12 points a game on offense. I had that on my board. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny was good enough to win. Clutch Ken comes out again. Everybody's making a big deal about Matt Canada's lack of reaction and him audibling the play call and coverage. Who cares? They got it done. I don't think Matt Canada cares too much. I think that dude can't think straight. So yeah, that's why he didn't cheer. He got bumped because they knew they were on TV, and he's just like, I'm worried about this, maybe the 2-point conversion or getting the ball back. I've seen other coaches not cheer. People overthink it.
Yes.
But he's under the gun right now, so everybody's going to have something to be pissed off about him. That was the least of my worries of being pissed off if he gets excited about a touchdown or not. There's plenty of other laundry lists of reasons why I'm upset with him, but being upset about the lack of celebration with a touchdown is very much at the bottom. Steelers played good enough to win. Don't look great. Defense looks pretty decent, though. JPJ, pretty solid player. Yeah, I think he deserves a little bit more reps. Patrick Peterson needs to quit running his mouth because he doesn't look great out there. Levi Wallace, as Trevor said, he doesn't look great out there either. I think hopefully they mix in Joey Porter Jr. a little bit more because I think Patrick Peterson is unfortunately starting to get washed up. Levi Wallace is starting to get washing down the river, one of the 3 rivers, and out of Pittsburgh here pretty soon. I think they got rid of some of the wrong cornerbacks because Arthur Mollett was all over us on Sunday. Good for that guy. Witherspoon's had some really nice plays for the Seahawks this year. So, good for him as well. Wallace, but I'm not sure what else to really say. 3-2. We always have a chance with Mike T, whether it be a great one to score a bunch of points or not. We still have a decent chance. But, the Bengals just figured it out. So I'm kind of scared about that.
What's going to throw that in there, too, I guess everybody's, I'm not happy right now at first. There is a lot. I'm scared the Bengals, Nate, and I know I've been bashing them the last couple of weeks. Very harsh on Joe Burrow. I traded him to you, and ever since then, I feel like I'm being a dick to you every time we're live. And I apologize. No, I'm just being honest. But I think they did figure it out. And I think Tomlin needs to realize, okay, hey, that's great. We're first. Let's keep it going now. Yeah, because I'm sorry. The Ravens didn't impress me. The Browns, they're shit. The Bengals. I mean, watch the hell out. I mean, I think it's going to be a battle between Pittsburgh. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Browns have some problems at quarterback. Sean Watson doesn't want to play or isn't playing. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there.
I believe he's questionable coming into this week. Yeah, not exactly sure what the injury is. And honestly, I've not checked in on his status, but last I checked, he was questionable.
Yeah, and P.J. Walker's getting the nod if he doesn't play. The Dorian Thompson-Robinson experiment didn't work out in the first one. So they're going to go with the veteran P.J. Walker, see if he does a little bit better. I don't think there's much of a change in their backup situation. I think Sean's got to play if he can. He can't. They got to get him out there, paying the man too much, and he makes too much of a difference on that offense, especially a weaker one now that they don't have Mr. Nick Chubb running the football. That's very tough.
Right.
Yeah, I never thought. Well, obviously, I knew Nick Chubb was the centerpiece of that offense, but just the complete and utter fall off from the Browns after he unfortunately gets hurt on that Monday night against the Steelers. Yeah, I wish I could say I didn't see it coming, but it is the Browns, and the Browns are going to be the Browns, and they seem to be back to being the Browns. Unfortunately for the Cleveland faithful. God bless those fans. Like I hate the Browns, but I will always have pity for their fans. My goodness. Like year after year after year, one way or another, the Browns find a way to be inept. They did get one up on the Steelers, and Ben's last home playoff game, unfortunately. But other than that, it's been same as usual for the Browns, and it's looking to be that way this year. And Lord knows what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Lord knows what's going to happen with that guy. Obviously, he seems to be past his prime, not nearly as mobile as he once was. Can't really carry an offense like he once did.
Right.
Without Nick Chubb, their defense will keep him in games, and obviously the division games are going to be close, so they have chances in those. But otherwise, I don't know how it's going to go for Cleveland.
I don't even know how you have a family party or a football party to watch the Browns. Like how do you have enjoyment? I guess they might squeak out a win here and there, I guess. But the other thing too, how concerning would it be as the owner and GM right now for the Browns to think, oh my God, okay, we had a lot of shit coming, bringing this guy in. We give him 200 million plus guaranteed, and now he doesn't want to come on the field.
235 to be exact.
I mean, whoa. I mean, what a fuck up if this backfires, fellas. I mean,
it already
set back years.
Oh, it already has backfired.
Okay.
Yes.
You can see the lack of depth on their team. They have very good players in some positions, but they don't have any players in other ones.
Right.
And they're not the only ones. You're welcome, Denver.
Right. Oh my God.
So
that's another.
You got two of the slimiest snakes for the weirdest, most different reasons that you could possibly have. One is
real quick, Nate, before you continue. I don't mean to interrupt the flow here, but if I may do my best Robert Saleh impersonation right now, talking to Sean Payton at midfield there. Keep my coach's name out your fucking mouth.
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
Stay humble. Robert Saleh to Sean.
Humble.
That's the best post-game interaction I've ever heard in my life. Better than that. Better than some of the Deion Sanders stuff that happened to him last week. Just like dapping him up in the SWAC. Different than some of the other ones that have literally just been like rival coaches that just shake hands, don't look at each other, and go on their way. That was up there. That was like the most subtle shot that you can take to.
That was fantastic. It was so quick, so snappy.
Yep.
And if you weren't paying, if you blinked or you turned away for a second, you wouldn't have noticed, and you would have saw it on Instagram later because it was all over the place. But I saw it live, and I'm like, oh damn. That was very, very nice by Robert Saleh. Nice little. Sprinkle some of the salt on top of the win there.
Little cherry on top action. And I'll tell you what, people have turned on Sean Payton now. People are like, this guy's a jerk. I kind of have gone that way too. Do I agree that Nathaniel Hackett's job with that organization was one of the worst coaching performances ever? It was pretty bad, but we're seeing now that there's a lot of problems with that team. Their defense is completely gutted. Their offensive line's not great, and they don't have a quarterback that is what they thought he was. He is not worth what he's getting paid, in my opinion. So
he's dog shit.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to go on a rant here. He is dog shit. He is literally a poser. You know, I watched that last drive there. I'm like, I understand you're getting your ass kicked, but this is just holy shit.
I loved the timeout with 1 second to run a play at the fourth quarter. The game was over.
Have some fucking pride. Like, just get out
of the game. Like, that was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm watching that live. I'm like, they really called a timeout and they're down 2 scores to run this play. Why? Like,
great game management, Sean Payton. Great clock management right there.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, all the fantasy owners are like, well, that's nice. Like, I get an extra play. It's like overtime. We get an extra play. We didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, if you got Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy, throw him the ball. I'm yelling at the TV, telling him to throw the ball.
And all the bettors are like, no, please get this over with because there's a chance they score in some way, and they're like, nah, I don't want that. So why'd you call that?
Yes.
And he couldn't. I just want, again, I'm going to take a shot, and I understand it's the last play. His arm strength, he struggled to even get it fucking down there. No offense to Russell Wilson, but
he never had the biggest arm.
Right.
He was a more accurate guy, moving passer, RPO guy. So the way that they still try to use him as like a down the field passer, he never was that. He quit trying to make this guy what he never was. Very
Yes.
few guys at 34 can just go from RPO guy to drop back passer.
Right.
Not many can do it. Name me one. I don't know any off the top of my head.
Well, and the other
Well,
thing,
there's never been that transition really from RPO short game type of passer to that, because the RPO game really only become prevalent these last I'd say 10, 15 years.
right.
So
Right.
we've never seen that sort of transition from Russell Wilson in Seattle to where he was running and gunning, running all over the field, getting him out of the pocket, getting him to throw on the run. And again, Denver, not really. They're doing that a little more with him, but like you said, Nate, he's more of a pocket passer type of. They're trying to make him a pocket passer, throw the ball down the field type of passer, and quite frankly, they don't have the weapons for that either.
Right. So who
Part of
goes
that,
first?
part of his style. It's just not a right blend, man. I think that's what it really is. It's not the right blend.
Right. Right. Who do you think goes first, though? Russell Wilson or Sean Payton? Because I've seen that all over on fan pages and.
I think Russell Wilson,
Okay.
because Sean Payton's a championship coach.
Right.
He
Yes.
took one of the worst teams in the history of the NFL, one of the worst franchises, and I'm not saying that for any other reason besides the numbers of wins and losses.
Shit.
That's all I'm saying it as. He took one of the worst wins and losses, records and turned that around, and they were a consistent winner for a decade and a half.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I think. Do I think that he's maybe slightly out of touch with the NFL at the moment? Yeah, but he doesn't have he doesn't have a lot to work with either. Their defense stinks. Their line stinks, and they got a quarterback that's a prima donna, and they have. They're missing one of their top 5 receivers and KJ Hamler. That doesn't help. And then they've had some injuries with Judy and injuries with Cortland Sutton in the past. They have basically no tight end. Dulcich is hurt, and Troutman went 3 weeks without catching a pass until this week, and then he had a touchdown reception. But yeah, and that's also weird. Sean Payton's a tight end lover guy. Like, he loves to throw the tight end. We've seen so many great tight ends in those systems, and he can't get the ball to the tight end now all of a sudden. So, and here's what I know. Russell Wilson was not a very consistent guy with the tight ends either, in my opinion.
No.
He had the services of Jimmy Graham there, and he pretty much
Mhm.
tanked Jimmy Graham's career right after that, after he was traded, and people thought, like, oh, Jimmy Graham and Russell Wilson will be great together. And they were mediocre at best.
Yeah, pretty mid.
Pretty mid. So, yeah, just I believe it'll be Russell Wilson. I don't know if you agree, Trevor, but I think it'll be Russell Wilson first. And they'll just be like, man, we're going to have this guy on the books for 3 more years, but at least we can start to try to restructure and just get the I don't even know. I don't want to say the word. He's just a pain. Get this pain out of here. Get him out. This guy who's driving us crazy. He's just that. Sometimes there's one bug, there's one person in an organization and on a team that just drives the rest down, and he's that person.
Yeah.
Because of his subtle, crappy attitude, his lack of being a human to his teammates, having to go through a freaking PR agency to get his number, even if you're his teammate. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's shit.
I mean, yeah, the whole thing with what is it, Team 3 being in the building last year, just that drove me nuts as well. Just to kind of give you some numbers on his contract too, and I'm kind of on the fence between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, who goes first. Obviously, Russell Wilson way more expensive to get rid of than Sean Payton is at the moment, but at the same time, you got a coach getting back into the fold of things after a few years off. You gotta see what that guy can do as well. See if he's got any good years left in him, and maybe he can revitalize your organization going forward. I mean, like you said, Nate, he rebuilt the Saints. Why couldn't he do the same thing with the Broncos?
Right.
But anyway, some numbers on Russell Wilson's contract. If they were to have gotten rid of him before this year, they'd have $107 million in dead cap. If they get rid of him going into next year, $85 million in dead cap. And then the year after that, significant drop off. 2025 if they get rid of him to $49.6 million in dead cap. So they might they might push this another year. They'd save a shit ton of money. I mean, I would say the cause is pretty much lost for this and maybe even next season with the team that they have right now. So they might just ride out Russell Wilson in the next year of his deal and then maybe cut ties with him. But in another, going into 2026, that dead cap number drops to 31.2 million. So they really screwed the pooch on this contract. This one and the Deshaun Watson contract, two of the worst contracts of any QBs in the modern NFL history, bar none. I think those two and Kyler Murray are probably the big three of botched contracts at QB in the NFL at this point. Yep. But Russell Wilson, I don't know if he takes the cake. It's pretty close between him and Watson, 1A and 1B type of situation there, but tough to be a Broncos fan, man. Really tough to be a Broncos fan right now.
Yeah. Here's one thing I think they may consider. I don't know. I think they just might pay Russell Wilson a big bonus and say, get out of town.
They could, yeah. They could convert
they may
portion of that into a bonus. Yeah,
they may agree to a salary push too, something that pays Russell Wilson, I mean, it's not pennies, but pennies of what he would be paid over 30 seasons or something. That's also possible if they renegotiate that.
So like a salary deferral type of
salary push, salary deferral. Yes. I think those are possibilities of how they could get him off the books in different ways. I think more of a salary deferral is more likely than a bonus, but some of the bonus would help. But I'll tell you what, that would be pretty painful for that ownership group to go, dang, we're going to pay Russell Wilson like $50 million bonus to not even be on a roster. But still, if you get rid of him in any regard, it's like we're paying him on our salary plus bonus plus whatever to not be on our team. So I'll tell you what, Walmart prices, they're going to go up. They got to pay Russell Wilson, you guys.
Oh.
You heard it here first.
Big facts, Nader. Big facts. And that's why I don't shop at Walmart now. That's why I'm not.
Better have your fucking coupons, Jesus.
Well, I actually don't shop at Walmart for other reasons that I won't get into on this program, but now gives me another reason. What prices are going up because of Russell Wilson? Fuck that guy.
They would. People are going to get fucking pissed. Oh boy.
No, I'm just messing. I don't know, but don't be surprised.
Yeah.
So pretty much all Walmart customers will help pay for Russell Wilson and not be on the Broncos. Possible.
Oh, good God Almighty!
But just to switch over here,
paying $5 for a damn loaf of bread soon.
Right. No, just to switch over because I know you guys probably have some things you want to touch on. Just do trivia here real quick, stretch it out, do whatever you got to do over there. They're not hard questions. I think you guys are actually going to probably kill it. But just for viewers out there, fans that watch this, they maybe, don't know or just get into football, maybe don't know the history. There's a whole good ties of questions I got in here. So first one off the bat for you fellas is what was the nickname of the Minnesota Vikings defense in the 1970s?
Purple People Eaters.
Very good. Right on.
Sure. What are we doing here? Is it just first answer?
First answer.
First answer? Okay. Cool.
Which four teams are named after cats?
Bengals, Lions.
There's Lions, Bengals.
One more. Did you get Panthers?
Jaguars, Panthers, Lions, Bengals.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see here. What else we got? All-time leading rusher.
Emmitt Smith.
Should be Barry Sanders, though, but it is Emmitt.
Should be. He retired too early.
Yeah,
I agree.
Oh, this is one that I actually did not know. And if you guys know this, I'll shit my pants. How long is a football field from end to end?
120 yards.
120 yards.
Oh, in feet. Sorry, in feet.
360.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the math guy got me on that one, even though I know what 120 times 3 is. I just couldn't do it in my head fast enough.
Hey, I'm an accountant. What can I say?
Let's see. What else we got?
Yeah. I know how to move money around. I don't know how to do math, but
it's a lot of yardsticks.
How many NFL divisions are there?
8.
Right on. Right on. Who won Super Bowl one?
Packers.
Packers.
Damn, you guys are fucking. How many players line up on an offense on any given play?
11.
11.
All right. And then what else have we got here? Oh, this all-time leading receiver.
Jerry Rice.
Right on. All right. And then Man of the Year awards named after
Walter Payton.
Sweetness.
Very good. All right. And then, all right, we'll throw one more out there. Oh, well, actually, I didn't fucking know this. How many offensive linemen are in a normal formation?
5.
You guys are fucking single season rushing yards record?
Dickerson?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right.
by like a few yards. Adrian Peterson nearly broke
Yes.
it. And,
Adrian AP's 2012 season, I believe, came up 12 yards short.
yeah, he needed like
Like
2 or
that.
3 more carries. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And two more, and then we'll go over. Who holds the single season receiving yard record?
Oh,
Calvin.
Calvin Johnson, right? Yeah.
Megatron.
And
Not
then,
for long. Got an
Yeah.
extra game coming up for these guys. They're going to get it. Tyreek is
Yeah. Hey, Tyreek's getting 2,000. I'm telling you, Tyreek's getting 2,000.
Yep.
all right. Oh, actually, two more because this one's good too. What was the nickname of the Seattle Seahawks defense in the early 2010s?
Legion of Boom.
Ooh,
Damn. All right. And then what is the most expensive NFL franchise according to Forbes?
Cowboys.
Dallas.
You guys are fucking on, dude. Jesus. I mean, those are maybe they're common to us, but I mean, other people out there, they wouldn't be able to, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, hey, yes, that was, I just wanted to add it in there. I thought it would be fun. But yeah, whoever wants to take over, go ahead.
Yeah, Drew, challenge us next time, will you?
Well, I'll look for some serious shit. Like, well, here's the thing. And I was telling one of our buddies on PlayStation, Nate, about when Trevor got off last night. I was like, yeah, this snake guy, like, he's like, what kind of trivia are you going to do? I'm like, I might just do modern. I'm like, this snake guy, he knows stuff from the 1940s. So I got to like figure out how to.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nate knows every single statistic about Bronco Nagurski. I can guarantee you that.
It's not true.
No. Yeah. It's still, you're an encyclopedia, buddy, and we appreciate your efforts.
Yeah, yes, we do. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So one kind of, I know I always kind of bring it down here with some of the tragic news that's going on in the NFL, but then I'll bring it back up with some trade discussions potentially in front of the October 31st NFL trade deadline. But some of the sad news, Sergio Brown has been apprehended in Southern California. He was caught trying to sneak over the border from Mexico to California and has been charged with the murder of his mother, Myrtle.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that. Oh,
yeah, according to a quote I saw in an ESPN article, the exact charges were unclear, but a warrant for his arrest cited first-degree murder. And he has been extradited back to Maywood, Illinois, to be tried there for the murder of Myrtle Brown.
oh boy.
And we knew this guy was kind of a loose cannon, whether it was CT, whatever it was.
Right.
He posted on Instagram a little bit after the fact, a little bit after the murder, calling his mother's death fake news. And also there was one, I actually looked this up to make sure it was real. He kind of went off the edge a little bit and just he sang the Finding Nemo song, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep that, both in posts on Instagram there. And just a very, very tragic story from the jump, and it seems like our worst fears have unfortunately come true with that. And Sergio Brown, former Notre Dame and NFL player for a decade, I believe,
Damn.
going to be tried for the murder of his own mother.
There'll be a documentary that I hope, really dives into all this and sees what the hell's.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we see it all unfolding here in real time. We're not going to know all the nitty-gritty details, but we already know more details than we want to know. So
Jesus Christ, that was what. So he's been on the run, Trevor, for 3 weeks.
Yeah, for the better part of a month.
Oh,
The
shit.
murder occurred, I believe, mid-September. It says her body was found in Maywood near a creek on September 16th. So sometime a little bit before then, murder occurred, and he's been on the run, like we said, for about a month now. And I know we covered it a few weeks back, saying that they don't know where he is. Players don't know where he is. Former teammates, family, they don't know where he is, but they found him. They arrested him. He's going to be tried.
Well, thoughts and prayers to the family. I mean, there's a loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Loss with him, and also, the death of his mother. God, that sucks. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of an unfortunate bow I had to tie on that.
That's all right. No, hey, we touched on it. We gotta,
Yeah. It came full circle. But anyway, coming into some more NFL talk here. We got the trade deadline coming up in a few weeks, October 31st, I believe that is. So a few of the guys out there that could be up for grabs, and especially one now with Justin Jefferson out with a hamstring injury. Justin Jefferson placed on IR because of this. Kirk Cousins is on the market. And we all love to pick on Kirk and his, him and his primetime games, his primetime record and all that, but overall, I'd prefer him over Kenny at this point. I'll just say that much.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of potential suitors for him. Where do we think he heads, fellas? Kirk Cousins, if anywhere, or does he stay a Viking and they ride this out with him?
You know what? I'm going to throw a curveball. Nate, I saw Matt. I apologize for not. We'll get your question here. But Cardinals. Could they somehow? I mean, that's the only team I really see that it could be maybe potential.
No, the Cardinals want to lose.
Okay, all right.
They want to stockpile draft picks, and they're in a full-on rebuild. Even though they beat the Cowboys, but it's full-on rebuild, and you don't go into a rebuild with how old is Cousins? 32 at this point, I believe.
He's like
somewhere 34. Yeah, you don't go into a rebuild with a 34-year-old quarterback.
No.
What about the Titans, maybe?
They have 3 quarterbacks on their roster that are all the same talent level. So do the Steelers.
Yes.
That's why you're not getting them either.
And they're looking to trade. I'll touch on him I'll touch on the other guy here in a second here, but they're also looking to trade Ryan Tannehill. So they might be another one that could be in rebuild mode.
Oh, boy.
Oh, they are in rebuild mode, but their coach just won't let them lose.
No, I know. Literally, it's another Mike Tomlin. It seems like Mike Vrabel is, but
right coach, wrong team, wrong players at the moment, and that happens sometimes. You got to go shift, and I hope they keep Vrabel because I think he's a great coach. I just don't think they have the talent at the moment, and I think Coach Gannon, even though he's a weird son of a gun, he's doing a nice job in Arizona. They just don't have the guys around at the moment. They need to rebuild too, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want anything to do with losing. He only wants to win. Don't get it twisted. He's there to win games. He's got that fire in his gut. He's got that fire in his gut.
Lucas.
Very good.
Lucas Lenz in here dropping the Pats. Yeah, I like that.
That's interesting.
I like that one. I was thinking the Pats or the Jets, honestly.
Yeah, I think the Jets
have.
The Jets make the most sense at the moment. Especially because he can borrow, then gets Rodgers back. I would not be surprised at all. I don't think the Patriots will do it. I think the Patriots have too much ego there to acquire a quarterback during the season. I think it's an ego thing. I don't think they would do that. I think they're out of it.
Yeah.
So, and here's the other thing. Knock on wood, nobody gets hurt. Some of the streaming options might come later. Be that we just don't know who they are yet. You know what I mean? Like we don't know who teams might be. We are unsure. So I think the Jets are the favorites though. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I like that Pats. I like that Pats spot though. I don't know if they have the assets to give Minnesota necessarily.
Yeah,
but
it's an ego thing.
Well, I mean, they definitely have the defensive assets to give to them, but we know how Minnesota prioritizes defense, as in they don't. So
yeah, He's an immediate upgrade for the Patriots that doesn't fulfill their long-term needs. So I don't think
Correct. Correct.
Who cares if he goes
Jets have more of a short-term focus. They have the pieces right now on defense. It was abundantly evident when they brought in Aaron Rodgers that they would obviously upgrading from Zach Wilson at the time. Anything would have been an improvement, but bringing in a veteran QB like that to lead the young receivers, to lead that young team overall, I think Kirk Cousins could provide a similar feel for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he gets traded, but we'll see. Another one on the market, and I think one that a lot of teams might be gunning for, Derrick Henry. Now, he is on an expiring contract.
Oh, damn it.
So that could be beneficial to anyone that would want to pick him up. But he is going to be 30 in January. He's hitting that magic age. Unfortunately, a lot of running backs tend to decline at that age. And this year, kind of struggling to get out of the blocks, only averaging 3.8 a carry, which is low for him. And he only has a couple of touchdowns. So
he was supposed to be the star of the team.
Yeah.
Absolutely laid a fucking egg. Nate, what team? I don't know. I don't want him to actually. I don't know. I'm nervous now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who would make sense at the moment that's having running back issues. Maybe the San Diego Chargers. Or not San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers. I still call them San Diego Chargers. They should,
yeah.
Where they should be. But no, I mean, like, they're having some problems with Austin Eckler. But he might come back and set the world on fire like Austin Eckler seems to do. But like that could be a possibility. I see if Eckler doesn't come back and do well because he's unhappy. He's on an expiring contract. So like that doesn't really make a lot of sense. The one that scares me is getting traded to Chiefs Kingdom, man.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, they're not really happy with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. McKinnon's more of a guy who's out of the backfield in the passing game. They put him in the slot. Yes. And Pacheco, the way he runs, man, I don't know how he stays healthy. He just runs like a freaking bull in a china shop. Well, if you can have another smackdown to complement Pacheco and maybe even get Edwards-Helaire out of the equation in particular, that's a team that makes sense. They were possibly in on the Jonathan Taylor sweepstakes until they expired, and then they said he wasn't going to ever be traded or wasn't going to be traded, immediately anyway. So the team that scares me is the Chiefs. It's out of their division. The Titans have a lot of guys on expiring contracts. They have some quarterbacks waiting in the wings. They have a running back waiting in the wings, and this team wants to rebuild. So this kingdom makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I got one for you, and it's a team that we did not think would be anywhere close to playoff contention, and they're currently leading their division, I believe, the Bucs.
Yep, that's another good one, of course.
Ooh. Yeah, I think the Bucs could really make a run at him. I think it would make a lot of sense for them too, because if it doesn't work out, ho hum, they're in a rebuild mode themselves anyway. But if they can contend for another year, I think they'll absolutely take that. And nothing against Rachaad White, he's no Derrick Henry.
No. Definitely. I agree. And the thing that backfield is missing is the power because from Leonard Fournette's departure, though Fournette was not good last year, that was his role in the offense. The ground and pound, guy, that's Derrick Henry's role. So another good shout out there, Trevor. I think that's definitely probably a lower end option, but makes sense if they keep winning for the next couple of weeks for sure.
That two-headed monster out of Chargers, so Trevor.
Oh yeah, Kelly and Eckler. Yeah, when they're on, they're on. They haven't always been on this season so far, but
no, I'm saying if Derrick went out there.
If Derrick goes there. Oh yeah.
I mean, the plays you could. Oh my.
Yeah, because Eckler is a guy that can line up in the slot as well. Very, very capable pass catching back. So you can really spread it out. To a team. And the thing is, that's a team that is down a receiver. Mike Williams down down with an ACL injury. Quentin Johnston not filling in quite to the same level that they wanted. Joshua Palmer not quite up to standard yet either. Yeah. So if you can put Austin Eckler out there and he be the guy in the slot that helps spread it out sometimes, and then you can give it to Henry. That's a nice
That's
interesting
interesting.
to have.
Fuck yeah.
That's the ultimate dream scenario right there. That could really open up Derrick Henry as well. Propel his career to new heights. Because like you said, Nate, you spread that defense out. They start playing nickel dime packages, and then you just send Henry straight up the middle, and he's going to bowl over some people. Whereas with the Titans, they're too ground and pound for that. Teams load up the box on them. It's tough for Derrick Henry to get out of the blocks sometimes. Defense is keying on the run against them. So. Yeah, I'll stick with the Bucs. Another potential suitor, Cleveland Browns, with Nick Chubb being out, they might need a short-term solution at running back. Maybe just try and save what's left of the potential of this team, and honestly, maybe try and look Deshaun Watson look a little better to save face in the managements and the management spots. But I don't know.
I got a question, and this might be dumb. How would that work out?
What's that?
With like, let's say they trade for Derek, but it's only like a half year. Like, it's not. How the hell would that play out? Like, they just get him for the remainder of the season. Could they do that with Derek?
Yeah, they get him for the remainder of the season, and he's a free agent come 2024 summer or spring.
Right, and honestly, this could happen too, to where the Titans retain some of his salary that the next team pays them.
Yes, that's exactly what would happen. They would take some of that salary, and then the next team would take some of the rest, and they would split that salary for the rest of the year. And the thing is, the Titans would probably be all right with doing that because they're not trying to win, even if their coach thinks they are.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to convince Mike Vrabel not to win.
Right. That's exactly
it is. It's just the way it is. He's too much pride, and I respect his efforts for that.
I respect it.
Oh, yeah, nothing but respect for that guy.
Yep.
Another, not really a heavy hitter here, but a potential impact player for a lot of defenses, Budda Baker. Budda Baker being a trade target coming out of the Cardinals there. He's been out with a hamstring injury these past few games, but again, with the Cardinals kind of cleaning house, and he's an $18 million cap hit that they could get off the books.
Oh,
so I think they might try and get rid of him. Some potential suitors for him. At least I think he might go to the Lions.
Yeah,
fill in that C.J. Gardner-Johnson role.
Yeah, there's 4 easy ones that come to my mind. Lions are one of them. Dallas is another one with Trayvon Diggs being out. They can shuffle some guys around. The Bills with Tre'Davious White. No offense to Josh Norman, but I don't think he gets him over the hump. He helps, but I don't think he gets him over the hump. Then the Cincinnati Bengals are the other team to me.
Steelers?
Sure, it would help, but good luck with paying them. I don't think they have enough money.
Yeah, we already have the highest paid defense in the NFL.
Exactly. Well, send Levi over there. I swear to God, that guy's skittish as shit every time. He's like a deer in the headlights on the field. Get him the hell out of there.
You think Levi Wallace has trade value?
He hasn't been bad. I mean, before this season, was he that bad? I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
He's just really doing it this year.
The pieces around him covered up his weaknesses.
So this year it's showing. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I haven't heard.
He's being left in a lot of one-on-one situations. That's what the Steelers tend to run. A lot of one-on-one, man-to-man type defensive schemes, and Levi Wallace is getting burned on a lot.
Yep.
And even when they're playing zone, he's usually in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Did see that.
Yep. Him and Pat Pete got picked apart. It's just the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't catch the ball. We should have lost that game, no question. They just
Ravens had 7 drops, at least 2 touchdown drops.
They had 7 drops in the game, and going into the game, they had 5 drops. So they more than doubled. They more than doubled their drop total in one game.
Yeah.
So, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are another suitor because they need some defensive help too. They believe they lost their best safety to Atlanta. Believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jesse Bates.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
He's the highest paid safety in football, or close. So I think that Budda Baker going back there would make sense as well for a team that really needs help in any regard. They've given up a lot of points. They haven't scored a lot of points. So if they can get anybody that can make some plays, especially someone that can be a playmaker like Bruda Baker, I think that they'd do it too. But yeah, the easiest ones, I think, Lions, Bengals, Dallas, Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo. Okay.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Probably the most sought after trade target in this cycle. I think you all know who this guy is I'm going to bring up here, Davante Adams. I don't think anything really needs to be said about his talent on the field, but I'll just kind of touch on some of his contract details here. Only a year and a half into a $140 million deal. That deal runs through 2026, and with the Raiders looking to rebuild, and with Davante not being too happy with the organization, he's vocalized that on numerous occasions. He's definitely a sought-after target for a lot of teams. Where do we think he's headed, fellas? Do we think he's going to a contender? Do we think he's going to a low-level team? How much say is he going to have in it? What do we think?
I wouldn't be shocked by this. He's from the West Coast.
Yes.
Seattle. Some reason that just popped in my head. He'd be him and DK. Think about that. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's him, DK, Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba would be a pretty dang good receiver room. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Oh, come on.
That's pretty dang tough.
Do they have money? I don't know. Let me look. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but
I'm not sure either, honestly.
The Chiefs make sense to me there, but it's in their division, so I don't know if they do it.
No, likely not.
Yeah, the Saints outside shot, probably not as well. Jets maybe, kind of doubt it. They have a trade target on their hands too with McCole Hardman. I think there's a good chance he goes back to Kansas City to kind of help their receiver room, because their receiver room is not. It's very inconsistent. You never know who's going to catch passes in that offense. Kelsey's Kelsey. McKinnon. McKinnon. They got a couple other guys: Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Justin Watson, and Rice. But no, if you get a chance to get Adams or Evans or anybody, you're gonna do it. Or Hardman, you're gonna do it, especially Hardman, because he's already knows the system and he's just plug him back in and he'll run all over the place. And he was catching the ball like crazy last year, and a few years prior. But yeah, man, I could see Davante maybe even just staying put, and then maybe even off season, or just even waiting a third year to see what happens. But yeah, Chiefs, Saints, Jets, Packers, probably the top ones. Chargers, maybe, but it's tough to train.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I want the chat to maybe chime in on this take here. What do we think about him going to the Texans? Young up-and-coming team, young up-and-coming quarterback that are honestly right now better than we thought they were, with a rookie quarterback that's better out of the blocks than we thought he was. I mean, he's C.J. Stroud, favorite for offensive rookie of the year now. With that contract running through 2026, that'd be a hell of a top wide receiver to carry into hopefully what is a quick rebuild in Houston.
I don't think it's out of the ordinary, but I just, after I said the Seahawks thing, I do remember, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, he did say he wants to win a fucking championship before the end of his career.
So
yeah,
that's kind of why I don't think he'll go to Houston.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Yeah. I'm with you though, Trevor. They have a need for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They do. And honestly, they have the most to offer the Raiders for their rebuild. They have a lot of draft picks coming. I believe they hold the top 2 picks right now, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that there? No, that's another team. That's the Cardinals. My apologies. I'm misremembering.
That was the Bears
Oh, that's the Bears. That's right. I see. I misremembered twice. Look at that. Third time's a charm, I guess.
Because the Carolina Panthers are horrible, and the Bears are also not very good either. So,
I don't know. Then Los Angeles could be an interesting one. They already have kind of a loaded wide receiver room, but that wide receiver room gets hurt all the time. So,
that's a good point. They also just traded Van Jefferson away, so it kind of elevates.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Rams did. Yeah. I was talking Chargers.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right about the Chargers.
Yeah, Rams too. Yeah. The receiver, obviously Cooper Kupp with the injury coming into this season.
Yeah.
They got 8 picks this year, fellas, Texans.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they have.
2 seventh
Logistically, it
round.
makes the most sense, but with how much sway I think Devontae is going to have in the whole situation, he's going to want to go to a contender. He thought that's what the Raiders were going to be with him there. And honestly, they probably should have been. They well underachieved last season, losing a lot of one-score games. And just another unfortunate situation for Devontae. Aaron Rodgers leaves, and you go to the Raiders who underperform, and now you're potentially stuck there through 2026.
Jesus.
Yeah. One other team I thought about with Derrick Henry is the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
And they're in win now mode. And here's the only reason why I think there's a very outside shot possibility, because one of them is Mike McDaniel loves offense, and he's going to just handpick players. But the other reason is they're so fast, but they're not powerful. They're not a powerful smash mouth football team. Yep. And in November, December, January, and early February, you need some guys that can bring the juice. And I'm not saying Mostert can't, but Mostert's also pretty dang fast. And they just lost, their star running back.
Kane, yeah.
To IR for at least 4 weeks, but maybe more. So maybe that's where King Henry goes. And it's out of their division. It's in the AFC. It's not far away, and here's the other thing. Derrick Henry's from Florida.
Yeah.
So I was saying that, it all lines up slightly. I don't know.
Stars are aligning.
Yep.
Good shit, Trevor. Good shit.
Yeah. That's all I had for them. Nate, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to touch on. I wanted to get into some betting as well.
No, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. Okay.
You're on a fucking tear right now, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you, fellas. Appreciate you chiming in, making me look good here.
No, you're making yourself look good.
I always make myself look good. Come on.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, I mostly looked at prop bets this week. Not so much in the games. I figured change it up a little bit instead of doing a whole lot of pick 'em.
Yeah.
I'd kind of check in on some of the prop bets that I was interested in before the season started here. Obviously, we talked about the 49ers, how good they are, how complete of a team that they are, how pretty much the only thing that could really derail them is injuries. I don't really see anything else. I don't really see anything else stopping that team potentially making it to the Super Bowl. And as a result, they're now the favorites to win the whole dang thing at plus 450. And the Chiefs close behind at plus 500 right there. Even still, that might be a good price for the 49ers with how damn good they are. And we know how good they are late in the season. We know how good that defense is.
Yeah.
It's tough to pick against them right now. Nate, I know I'm not picking against them in any pick'em league that I'm in. I know that.
Nope. Heck no.
No. Oh, no. Hell no. Interesting one I saw, too, to win the AFC, and I want to get you guys' take and potentially the chat's take on this as well. Dolphins are actually above the Bills. They're second in the AFC to win the AFC at plus 470. Bills are at plus 500. What do we think of that there? Is that just a momentum thing? Is Miami truly the better team? Are the Bills underrated, even though, are people still kind of hurt over the Bills loss to the Jags over in London? What's going on with that there?
I'm going to be passionate about this one, Nate. I think the Dolphins would have beat the Bills if they didn't run it up 50 fucking points against the Broncos. I think the Dolphins were gassed.
That could have happened, yeah.
And I think the Dolphins. I'm all in on the Dolphins. Mike McDaniels. I mean, his press conferences are enough.
Yes.
I believe in this team.
Yes.
I don't know.
No, DB, I'm with you. Here's why I think the way I do. I absolutely agree with you, DB, and I think it all goes down to, it all really comes down to the Dolphins care more about winning the AFC than the Bills do. The Bills care about getting in the playoffs. That's what they care about. The Dolphins care about winning every game. And that's literally, they said, it's week at a time, week at a time, week at a time. We're 1-0 this week. We're just trying to build week by week. Yeah, well, the way you build week by week is to win every game and to win the AFC. That's what they think.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I can see it. I really could. I do think Miami can beat Buffalo next time, definitely. Because Buffalo ran it up on them and they let it go loose and all that stuff. I also think that the Miami Dolphins division has some games they can win other than, the next game against the Bills. So yeah, the Bills have probably a little bit tougher schedule, I think too. So yeah, no, I like the Dolphins to win the AFC. I do. I don't think it's that preposterous to say that they will, because I think just winning the AFC means more to them right now than it does the Bills. Bills want to win a Super Bowl. And sure, the Dolphins do too, but the Dolphins haven't taken their licks. They haven't taken their time to wait. This is a new team. Like, this is a fairly young team that hasn't played much together, that their train fell off the tracks too early last year because of Tua, and lost a bunch of games in a row. They snuck in the playoffs, had to have Skylar Thompson start a game to get him into the playoffs and all that stuff. And it was just a mess. So yeah, that's why I think the way that I do.
They didn't even miss a beat, though. I mean, they were
no. Oh my God, no.
I mean, Skyler, he went in. I mean, Tua. I mean, he's a special talent. I don't want to take away from him, but they still got in, Nate. I mean, he was serviceable.
Well, can you remember in Week 18 they played the Jets and they won 9-6 and got in the playoffs?
Right.
That happened, and then 2 weeks later, Skylar Thompson goes into Buffalo and loses by 31-28, I believe, was the final of that divisional game.
Yeah, it was low scoring though. The offense didn't. The offense performed barely well enough to win. It was the Buffalo offense that stunk.
Oh, that is true. That is very true.
That was what it was. The Buffalo offense was absolutely horrendous in the playoffs last year. But I think that, they got to have Tua healthy. They got to have Tua healthy. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, like, that's a team that Kirk could go to if Tua doesn't stay healthy. And I'm not manifesting that. I hope the kid stays healthy. He's a nice kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Very faithful kid, Christian kid.
Model citizen guy. So no, but that's a team that has an injury to a quarterback like that has all the pieces around him. Like, that's a chug and plug team for Kirk. Kirk can make that work for sure. He can throw down the field. He can throw crossers. He can get the ball out to these backs. He's done all of it. He'd be a perfect candidate if Tua would get hurt for sure.
Yeah.
Real quick before I get into this next bet that I want to discuss here, we're an hour and a half in here. It's time. Open another brewski, eh?
I thought he had.
Anyway, I did that because I'm a little bit fired up about this. Some more TJ Watt disrespect from FanDuel here, huh? Dumb. Yes, Drew, I see your face. I'm going to get fired up here too. TJ Watt, still, somehow, behind Myles Garrett to win Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt at plus 300, Garrett at plus 250. Yes, I know I'm biased. I'm a Steelers fan, but I've seen what Watt can do every single damn Sunday. He is an absolute game wrecker, and if he is not on the field, that defense is mid. No one player affects the game more than TJ Watt. You can never have enough Watt on the field.
Yep.
Disrespect coming from FanDuel here. I say to all the bettors out there, I'm jumping on that right now. I might toss in a bet right after this show's over.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. Maybe not huge money, but I'm putting some money on that. Yeah. While I got that good a price, yes, I'm tossing that in. Yeah.
I've tried
Yeah.
to clean it up. I've tried with the language, but like when
Ah,
like a topic
yes,
like
yeah.
this comes, it's
Go
very
off,
hard for me to
please.
What else does this guy have to do? I remember the season before he won the defensive player. He got snubbed. He should have won it. And then it came down to the wire, and he wins it. And I mean, it was cool to see JJ. But I don't understand what he has to fucking do. Half the plays he's being held. Let's not be honest. I mean, he does that swing move, and the fucking lineman tucks his arm. I mean, they're holding his ass, and luckily sometimes he's able to break through it. And even when they're holding him, he bowls them over. I don't know. He literally changes every fucking game. When he's on, he's on. That's a defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett. No, the Steelers mid fucking offensive line held him to one pressure. No, that's horseshit. Maybe they just want us to make money, Trevor. I'm sick of this shit.
I don't know.
I don't know. And
JJ
says it on.
Hey, DB, if there's anything I know about sports gambling, and I say this all the time, I said it to Nate this past week. I forget what we were discussing, but I remember saying this to you in an Instagram chat, Nate. The Haas always wins.
Oh, yeah.
The Haas always wins. And the Haas always wins in sports any sort of gambling, the Haas wins, especially in sports gambling.
Right.
Do I think the Haas is going to win in this particular bet? I sure as hell hope not.
I mean, are they summoning?
You get TJ for plus 300 over Myles Garrett at plus 250. Yes, I'm going to take that. That is a fantastic price for me. And if you're throwing your money on Myles Garrett, God bless you. No me senos, padre, se me senos, which is the sign of the cross in Spanish, I think. I don't know. I didn't take Spanish. I took French. But God bless you if you bet on Myles Garrett. Weird thing is, TJ, favorite for the most sacks at plus 280. Myles Garrett, a distant second at plus 550. I don't – those to me, those don't compute. That
JJ Watt
compute. Me no understand. I don't
I'm
understand.
not even letting Nate talk, and I'm sorry, Nate. I apologize. I just got to say this. JJ's on there after the game, just like this guy. My brother is the greatest defensive player on earth at this time. Like, how many fucking he understands he's being disrespected. He's always been. I don't understand why though. He's not an asshole. He's not, he's upset. He does all things in Pittsburgh. He's not a thug. He doesn't do stupid shit, and he still gets disrespected. I don't get it.
He doesn't whack quarterbacks over the head with their own helmet.
I mean, when he sacks a guy, he's actually kind of genuine about it. He helps him up at times after.
I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, and then he does fucking kick out.
Yeah, but... he might. You might hit him and break a clavicle, but he'll pull him up afterward. Yeah. If he's not doing the thing, that thing. Yeah. But
what the hell do you think on that? That's just stupid.
I don't think that they can take this into consideration, but Myles Garrett stayed a little bit more healthy than TJ Watt in his career. Right. But like, if you're going to really put the odds based off of you think TJ is going to miss time, that's pretty dumb. I don't know. I think Max Crosby should be higher on that list than Myles too, and Micah Parsons as well. Although he was pretty quiet on Sunday, and Fred Warner, another guy, been all over the dang field for San Francisco. I mean, goodness gracious, I don't know.
Yes.
So, yeah. Myles Garrett, great player. One bad moment. You guys are hard on him for that moment, and sure, I understand. But yeah, he's had one bad look.
Bad look.
Pretty bad look. It was uncharacteristic. He'll probably never.
Top 5 loudest I've ever yelled at a Steeler game in my life.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that's very uncharacteristic of him. He's never done anything before like that I know of, or anything after. He's pretty much Cleveland too. But I'm surprised that TJ is not leading, and I'm surprised that Max Crosby's not second, despite being on a bad team. He had a great game on Monday night. He was all over the place. Goodness gracious, that dude was running from one defensive end to the all other side of the defensive line. he was going from one B and C gap to the other B and C gap down the line and swooping around and getting sacks. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing I respect about Max Crosby. I love TJ and I love Myles Garrett, but they come out. They come out sometimes.
Yeah.
Max Crosby's in there more than any defensive end in the league.
That's
An outside linebacker. He's in there more than them. So I respect Max Crosby for that. So yeah, he's one that I think Max Crosby has a right to be feeling like a snub at the moment too. But long season left, a lot of things can happen. So I wouldn't get too worked up about it. And yeah, if I was a bettor, I'd probably put some money on TJ Watt too. Pretty good price, I think.
Max Crosby might even be at a better price there, Nate. He's at plus 2,000. He's actually Watt and Crosby have Aiden Hutchinson and Nick Bosa in between them.
Yeah, I would not pick Bosa with his injury history. And
Correct.
Aiden Hutchinson's doing pretty well.
Yes.
But
That's 2,000.
yeah,
it's steep. I know but
Crosby, I think, is very undervalued at the moment.
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson will get there. I don't think he's quite there yet. He's made some strides, but gosh, this kid, he's coming. He's next, man. Like if there's a next man up with him, it's definitely him.
Through the roof.
Yes.
Potential. Jesus.
Yes. One I want to touch on real quick here. I mentioned it before. One more Steelers thing before we move on. It's not TJ Watt related, thankfully. Steelers at plus 138 to make the playoffs, minus 170 to miss. I think you get plus money on the Steelers making the playoffs at this point when they're leading the division. I don't know. It's attractive. I don't know if I would bet on it, but it's attractive.
Put $20 on that.
You get plus money on it to Steelers to make the playoffs. Even if they squeak in at 9-8, you win. It's to me that's attractive, and the fact that we're winning with the team that we have now. Yeah,
I'd take that bet all day, Trevor. That's easy money.
Yeah. One we kind of kept our eye on coming into the season, Damar Hamlin for comeback player of the year. He was leading favorite by far. I believe he was at like minus 2,000, somewhere along those lines. Those odds have significantly shrunk. He's at currently minus 200 to win comeback player of the year. And I'm not saying that anyone else should win this thing. I'm just saying what I see on FanDuel, and this is what I see. Damar Hamlin, minus 200 for comeback player of the year. Next closest is Tua at plus 400, and then you got Baker Mayfield at plus 1,600 behind Tua. Does anyone – I know all of our answers on this. At the beginning of the season, has that answer changed? Is anyone other than Damar Hamlin winning comeback player of the year?
I just want to throw it out here, and I'm going to be, and you guys know the situation. It affected everybody. It took over the nation. I just want to say I could see Damar Hamlin's going to win, but just the role he's played, Tua has played a bigger role. From what you know what I mean,
that's why I think the odds are inflated. Yes,
but I think for God's sakes, for the guy to come on the field, no matter what fucking position or if third team or special teams, whatever the hell, just come back on the field after dying on it, I think deserves the award. I mean, that's just stupid. I don't think it should even be a debate. I mean, that's just how I feel on that. Just even the suit up, Trevor. For God's sakes, be on the sideline.
Suit up, get on the field. Yeah. Well, I would say get on the field, but
yeah, that's just my feeling on it. I mean, I think that's if we're going to have an award like that, I think this guy's pretty good candidate. That's why it's here.
Right.
So, I don't know, Nate. What do you think on that? It's a touchy.
Yeah.
This is going to sound horrible, and I'm going to sound like a terrible human being for a second, but you can't not play in the first 3 games. And I think win this award, in my opinion.
Okay.
Well, like Damar Hamlin doesn't active for the first few games, and sure he's working through stuff. I understand, but like this is like a time where like there should be an other categorical award for what he's going through based off of the comeback versus like somebody getting benched and traded in like a routine football injury more than like a goodness gracious, this dude's heart stopped injury on the football field.
Yes.
Who I think will win it now, if I'm picking right at the moment, is not Tua. It's actually Baker Mayfield. And I'll tell you why it's not Tua, because Tua, I think, is MVP. think Tua is going to win MVP.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I don't think he can win both. Maybe he can, but I don't think they would do it to both.
I don't think there's a rule against it, but yeah.
But I there's probably not a rule against it, but I think Tua is going to win the MVP if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Burrow, I don't think can put up the numbers. He's too far behind now. But if he's going to win it, he better get in a freaking hurry. But yeah, I think Tua Tagovailoa, he might set the NFL single season passing yard record this season because of those speedsters on the outside. And now they have more of an incentive to throw the ball. And now that a Cheney or whatever the heck his name is, I can never freaking pronounce his name.
A chain, I think.
Whatever.
A cane. I don't know.
Kane. They have more to throw the football. So, yeah, I think Tua could win him NFL MVP, set the single-season passing yard record this season. Baker Mayfield seems like a good candidate. The Saints aren't that great. The Buccaneers could win that division. They might keep Mike Evans to hopefully make a run there when we thought that there was very well a chance coming into the season they could trade him early on for the deadline. But, yeah, Baker Mayfield right now is my pick to win Comeback Player of the Year because Tua is our MVP right now. I don't think you can really argue it. Him and Josh Allen, really. But
yes,
I guess I agree with Nate on that. Maybe like a commissioner's award, something.
Yeah,
like
it's not
it's
not a knock. Yeah, no, not a knock. I think like again, it's a touchy. I don't want to de-appreciate the award, but I feel like there should be a higher pedigree award for Hamlin.
Right,
and maybe they'll actually someday have
something
like that. You know, like holy shit, you had a life-threatening situation, DeMar Hamlin award or something. You know what I mean? So
his is like uncategorical at the moment.
Yes.
There's never been very few things like this. You know, which, thank God there has not been many like this. Thank God.
Right. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't think you should name an award out of that just because of how unprecedented this thing was and how hopefully going forward we never see that again.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like you said, Drew, very, very touchy.
Yeah.
The PR group's going to have to really watch how the hell they play this out. I'm just going to be honest with you.
The thing about it is are Baker and Tua going to be upset about if DeMar wins that award?
No one's going to be upset over that.
Exactly.
And if you are upset over that, you shouldn't be watching football.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Plainly. I'll tell you.
Look at DB. DB keeping it real over here.
I still hold. I don't want to. I know you got a segment and I don't want to take over, but I still cannot get over.
That's fine.
Chris Collinsworth saying, "Okay, we need to get on with the game." I will never get that out of my head.
No, that was Skip Bayless.
Oh, Skip Bayless. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Skip Bayless. Yeah,
you got to get the game going on Twitter. I will never forgive him for that, and I think that's one of the most disheartening things in humanity.
Yeah.
Drew, sorry to interrupt you, Nate. Drew, if I may use one of your lines here, that proved what I have known all along about Skip Bayless. To use your language, DB, stooge. He's a stooge.
He's a fucking stooge.
Yeah. I'm actually on Skip Bayless's side because of the way the NFL presented those rules, which is stupid. They should never be written that way. But to say it publicly makes you a jerk. I'm just going to say that. He is correct, but you don't say it. It's so insensitive, you know? He's correct.
Read the room. Read the room, dude.
Don't, the game is technically supposed to continue.
Yes.
Now, I hope they've changed that. I hope that, I don't know if they have. They should.
Yes.
That should be considered. But he was correct because there are so many things that this impacted. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not.
No, I get it.
I wouldn't want to play. Holy cow, that's insane.
No. Oh, no. It's an unprecedented thing. Unprecedented thing in the modern NFL.
Yeah, but the NFL put those men up to that, which was wrong.
Yes.
It was wrong. Which puts the broadcasters out there to say that and all these people out there to say that, which ultimately is all incorrect, all very morally wrong. So in theory, Skip Bayless, yeah, he was correct. And I think I said this to Trevor when that happened. I said, in theory, this is very insensitive to say, but in theory, it's correct to say. But it doesn't mean you should say it. And it doesn't mean the NFL got it right with this game is going to continue, because I definitely disagree with it.
I think that too, you have both coaches in the locker room there. And I don't think they should allow the camera men back there. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But to have two grown men decide, hey, what's your feeling on this? That's fucked up.
Showcase that on national television.
Just not good.
That was very insensitive to me too.
I didn't like it.
I did not like that either.
You're making the football game more important than what just happened here.
I agree. That's where the NFL really screwed up that situation.
It's fucked up.
Have a heart. Damn it.
Yes.
Yep, I agree.
Sorry, Trevor. Go ahead, buddy.
No worries. I figured that we might get into some touchy subject material there, which is totally fine. I figured that might be a tangent that we go off on. Totally fine. I mentioned the Bucs earlier. They're currently actually minus odds for them to make the playoffs, minus 122. And then Lions, as we all expected, right? They're leading the division by a good bit, minus 400 to win that division, minus 650 to make playoffs. One that we've all kind of arrived at a consensus about this team, Cincinnati Bengals. Right now, you're getting plus money on them to make the playoffs, plus 154. If I am as Pat McAfee likes to pronounce it, if I am a gambling man, and I am a gambling man, I use the term man loosely. I'm more of a man-child, but it is what it is.
Jesus Christ.
I'm taking that all day long.
What's the plus on that, though, Trevor?
Plus 154. You're getting 1.5 times money on it. Bengals to make the playoffs. I know how they've looked. I know how Joe Burrow has looked. But I also know how these Bengals operate these last several seasons. We haven't hit November yet. Wait until November. And they go nuts. And then they make me, of all people, look like a genius because of this.
So I guess just within this conversation, Steelers, Bengals 1 and 2 then?
Steelers plus 138 to make it. Bengals plus 154. Yeah. That was my pick to start the season. Bengals win the division. Obviously, we know how the other two wild card picks are working out right now, Jets and Broncos. It's just kind of sweep that one under the rug.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? But anyway, Bengals plus 154 make playoffs. To me, no-brainer. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Any disagreements? Anything to add?
If he doesn't re-aggravate that injury, I think we're set sail now.
Yeah.
If there's no fuck-ups.
I still think they're winning the division.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think they're making the playoffs. I think they're winning the division, and I think that it's going to be decided on the last day of the season.
Oh, hey now. Plus 470 to win the division.
Yeah, I'll take that
one too. That one too. You're getting 4.7 times money. Take it.
Yep, I'd do a little parlay action of both of those. You hit on both of those.
If you can. I don't know if you can parlay those, but if you can,
I hammer that personally.
Hammer down.
But yeah, I think what's going to end up happening is Steelers Ravens play week 18 and Cleveland Browns Bengals play week 18. We're going to have a very tight race, and we're going to have a bunch of scenarios there. I think that if the Steelers, I honestly think it could come down to the Steelers win, they win the division. Ravens win, they make the playoffs. Bengals win, they win the division, and it's all possible. I think it's going to be very, very tight. Here's the one thing about Week 18 that it's going in our favor potentially if we can stay afloat here is Joe Burrow sucks against the Browns. I don't know why. He's awful against the Browns.
It's true. I don't like it, but you're right.
Yeah, but nope. I still like it's not November. It's Joe-vember coming up, man. Joe Burrow owns teams in November, man. So I'm scared. He got on tear this weekend, and of course he was on my bench because I got pissed off and tired of waiting for him to explode. He ain't sitting on my bench anymore. I'm just sticking him in there, and Stroud can sit on my bench all he wants. So, yep. Bengals to win the division still.
Captain Insano, I appreciate the comment, and I appreciate the name.
That's Brad, Trevor.
That's Brad. Oh,
Yeah.
Brad. I appreciate the name, Brad. Captain Insano shows no mercy. Chokeslam from Captain Insano. Great movie. But getting off of NFL here, going into some college. I know we didn't really touch too much on college so far, but just some of the games that I'm keeping an eye out for. Obviously, Notre Dame, USC. I'm not going to touch on how Notre Dame did last week because I don't want to revisit those awful memories of throwing shit around my apartment. It was rough night in the Trevor Dinsmore household. I'll just say that. But I know this for a fact right now. It's supposed to be a sloppy game. I know USC's got their players practicing in sloppy conditions. Conditions favor Notre Dame, obviously, with the run game. Hopefully the offensive line's able to step it up.
Oh, jeez.
But obviously USC's USC. We know how good they are, and we know what they can do in South Bend. And if I'm gonna get $1 for every time they show the damn Bush push on College Game Day this Saturday, I could probably retire on Sunday. But anyway. Game that I think everyone's really watching out for, perhaps the pièce de résistance of the weekend, Oregon at Washington, over-under being 67. Spreads 3 to Washington. Obviously, 2 Heisman candidates going mano a mano, and Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. This is one that I want to get both of your thoughts on. Who's going to take it and who's going to essentially run the Pac-12?
I like Bo Nix, Oregon. That guy's just cool and collected, man. Pro ready. Yeah.
I'm picking Oregon too. I think Penix Jr. is a better quarterback slightly. I do think Bo Nix has become more pro ready, but Penix I think is taken bigger leaps. But I'm going to pick Oregon on the road. And I do think there's going to be some points. But I do think Oregon's defense is slightly better. And I be more experienced all around. So I'm going to take Oregon and probably a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you're right, man. Those are 2 great Heisman candidates in that game. And really, it's very possible that the winner of that game helps take their team to a Pac-12 title potentially, and also to a Heisman title individually. A lot of eyeballs will be on that game for sure.
Oh yes, even though the over/under 67, it's a lot of points. Right, taking the over. -3 to Washington. That's an interesting number. That's a push number right there. That's a nice little push number, and I think that's what Washington is going to do. I'm going to take Washington at home. I think obviously Michael Penix Jr. has a big game, and Washington gets the ball last and wins the game. And I know it's an old cliche. This is really one of those games. Whoever gets the ball last, probably going to win it. That's what happened with Texas-Oklahoma this past week. Good God, what a game that was.
Yep.
And it came down to whoever had the ball last with the most time left. Oklahoma did. They went down. They scored with 12 seconds left, and this could be a very similar type of a game. Again, I don't like that this game is on right before Notre Dame, so that's going to get the heart rate up, and then I'm probably going to have palpitations by the time that Notre Dame comes on. But it is what it is. It's college football Saturday, and this is what I live for. Anyway, a couple other games I want to keep my eye on here. Miami UNC. Over under 58 there, -3.5 to UNC, both ranked teams. Miami, we all saw the blunder that happened there last week with Georgia Tech. However many seconds are left in the game, they choose to run the ball. Guy fumbles, Georgia Tech throws a Hail Mary, scores a touchdown. Georgia Tech wins the game. But Miami's obviously they're better than that. UNC's pretty damn good themselves with Drake May, another Heisman candidate coming into this season. Obviously not at the moment, but coming into this season, I think that'll be a good one to watch. And I always keep coming back to the Pac-12 here. UCLA, Oregon State, UCLA with their dominant defense. Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei. I think I got that right.
I fuck up every name every time.
It's been a little spotty, but Oregon State. No, I know. Dan Carpenter.
Dan Carpenter, and I call Derek.
Yeah, I bring up Dan Carpenter.
David Carr. Fuck.
David Carr. But yeah, spreads 3.5 to Oregon State, over under 54. Then kind of going down my list here. Up and coming team in James Madison. They're taking on Georgia Southern, over under 58.5. JMU favored by 6. Then obviously you guys know who I'm rooting for in this particular matchup. Auburn at LSU. Yeah. Missouri can get it done. Oh well. Spread is 11 to LSU, over under 61. And then I never really touch on Penn State on this show. I don't know why. I mean, I wear the Penn State gear and whatnot. I'm a Penn State fan too, guys. I'm Penn State and Notre Dame. Some people say I can't be both, but guess what? Here I am. I'm both. They take on, of all teams this weekend, in probably sloppy conditions too. And I know a couple people that invited me to tailgate this game, and I said, nah. PSU takes on UMass. They're favored by 41.5. That's kind of all I had.
I think we're going to take a giant shit on them.
I think so. I think hopefully they actually get the run game going this time around. They don't rely on Aller the whole time to, sling the rock. Penn State stay undefeated. I guess at Penn State they haven't gotten into the meat of their schedule yet. Probably why I don't talk about them very much. Notre Dame, 4 straight night games against ranked opponents. Yeah, that'll do it. Brutal, but it is what it is. They need to join the conference already. Join the Big Ten. That way you got to play. I don't know who's a bad Big Ten. You play Rutgers or Northwestern every year. Give us some cake, will you? But anyway, that's all. Yeah. And if you're a real goon, there's always the San Diego State Hawaii game that starts at 11 p.m. at night.
Oh, all right. I'd watch it.
But yeah, that's all I got for college. Not too packed of a weekend, but the top games are going to be very, very exciting, as always.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. You missed Pitt Louisville is the only one.
Oh, did I now? 1-4 Pitt. I missed Pitt. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you didn't miss it. Louisville should take care of business there. They're better than I thought. Sorry to even bring that up, Trevor, but they're good.
No,
pretty good. And I'll tell you what, Notre Dame did not play well either. I think they could beat Louisville. They just didn't play well. Their lines,
offensive line sucked.
Sam Hartman has not played well the last 2 games.
Still love him. Though.
Yeah, his Heisman campaign ended prematurely, and Dinzy's Heisman pick, his odds took a dive this weekend too after 3 interceptions.
That's just my life. That's It is what it is. It is what it is.
Mr. Quinn Ewers, that is.
Mr. Quinn Ewers, and then I have a backup with my own guy Hartman. I put Ewers first, and I put my own guy on the back burner as a backup just in case. And what happens? They both fall off.
Oh.
Well, in case you're wondering, Pitt's Phil Jurkovec is not a tight end, even though there was a rumor that he was thinking about going to tight end, and his Heisman campaign has also ended for the year too. So, in case we need
the Heisman campaign that never started, one?
It started.
It started.
Yep, it was a really.
How long did it last? 2 passes.
About 4 games. I mean, if you talk to anybody in Pittsburgh, they think he was going to be, they think that he was the best.
Bro, I know Pitt fans that are sick of his ass.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Anyway, I'm done before we go on another tangent. But anyway, Nate, go ahead. Sorry.
One there. Nope, that's it. I just had to get a pit.
Okay. Yeah, you had to jab him. Yeah.
You sure you want to play us every year? I don't think you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Good luck.
What was that? 56-0? Is that what it was?
52-6.
Or 52-6. Oh, I'm thinking of Maryland. My bad. I'm thinking
At Hines. At Hines. 52-6. Hines.
52-6. Just remember that. Sear it in your brain. 52-6.
And they had Kenny at quarterback. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, we love Ken. Hopefully, he rests up, takes the wife out on a nice dinner, and comes back ready to kick some ass after this bye week.
I don't like Ken. I like Ken. I don't
Okay.
love him. I like him.
See? Hey, Trevor, I told you. He's going to grow on him.
No, I never said I disliked him. I just never said I loved him. I still don't think he's the best quarterback that we could have.
I give him a
feel that way.
That's all right. That's all right.
If he threw, I don't care if he threw a game-winning touchdown or not.
Oh.
I don't care.
He's throwing a few of those now.
Okay, but how many interceptions has he thrown? How many inaccurate passes has he thrown? How many times has he fumbled? How many times has he scrambled out of the pocket too early? I mean,
hey, Nate, we got it.
Yeah,
we got it.
We'll see.
All right, I'll sign us off.
Keep the negative energy in your apartment. Damn it.
I love the intensity. of the show. All right, it was another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with Nate and Trevor. It's always a pleasure, fellas. Next week, when are you guys out next week? Or
nope.
I'm good.
No, we're good. The following week, I think.
Following week, I'm out. I'll be in Houston.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But next week, we'll be back with another episode and touching on, we'll add in something else here. If I can think of something in there, these boys might come up with, then we'll throw it in here for you beautiful people out there. But anyways, have a good day. Have a good night. God bless. Stay safe out there. Also, T-shirts. If you want a T-shirt, get a hold of me. Get a hold of one of these guys. We'll make it happen. Having issues with the logo. And I'm not going to say the agency or the place that I'm working with here, but they really suck. But it is what it is. But hey, another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys, all gas, no breaks. Have a good night.